Web3. Staking is the go-to thought when you hear passive income in Web3. But there is a new kid on the block, nodes. But will nodes overtake staking? That is the question. And I'd like to hand the mic over first to our panel hosts and leads today. We have spacem with us and our esteemed speakers. Spacem, give the audience and the panel a little intro to what you guys are building.
Yeah, for sure. Hello, everyone. It's Ian, marketing manager from spacem. And yeah, we are building a lot of things. That's first. But at the core of what we're building are nodes, which you have just mentioned. It's not that those nodes necessarily validate a network, but they're a collection of NFTs that kind of give owners a lot of benefits. They generate tokens, spacem tokens daily. They also give holders shareholder rights and governance perks and so on. So it's a lot of things that we have to discuss. But yeah, I'm going to give my word to Igor to also say a couple of things just as an introduction, and then we can move on.
Okay,
Thank you very much. Take it away, Igor. Go.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you. I'm very glad we are here today all together. So yes, our NFTs nodes are actually something that I really love, not just like. And you should peek on our website and check a lot of things. We put everything there. So if you take just a few minutes, you can take a lot of knowledge about nodes. And today's topic is, I love this topic because staking and node together, I believe this is something what everybody should have. So for the beginning, thank you.
And thank you very much. Thank you for that insightful intro. Let's hand the mic over to some of our speakers. We have a huge panel today, so just a little bit of space etiquette. I know obviously you want to introduce yourselves, of course, and everybody wants to get involved with the conversation, but let's just try and be mindful of time, mindful of other speakers as well. I'm not saying, be as brief as possible, but yeah, let's just be aware we've got lots to get through and lots of voices, so let's just be kind to each other. And with that, Bluebird, familiar face on the panel, come and say hi.
Hey, yeah, GM. So Wayne here from Bluebird. We are a all-in-one platform that allows founders and builders to deploy tokens and manage everything from tokenomics, cap table, investor invites, and everything else in an all-in-one platform, including RWAs. So that's our, I guess you could say, 20-second spiel, but excited to be here.
You have got that intro absolutely nailed down. Great job, Wayne. Thank you very much, and always happy to hear from you. Pradeep, welcome. Come and introduce yourself.
GM, everyone. This is Pradeep. I'm the CEO of Pi3 Network. We are a privacy-preserving AI container system with the objective of enabling tax lawyers, accountants, government agencies, and business enterprises to run AI in their environment in a privacy-preserving, compliant manner. And they can compose their AI nodes, what we call Pi3 nodes, using a variety of infrastructure, a variety of models, custom-built agents, or build their own, and keeping the data secure. So the topic today is extremely relevant to us. We believe nodes are a much better construct and a computing pattern than just a staking contract. So looking forward to the conversation, and thank you for having us here.
Thank you for joining us. Lovely intro from you. Always happy to have you on a space. You speak really well and have a lot of valuable information to share. So looking forward to some more. Bazars, welcome. Haven't seen you for a little while. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're doing well. We're developing something new technology in Web3, so stay tuned for our announcement for that. And let me introduce myself. I am Akai, Community Manager at Bazaars, and Bazaars is a decentralized P2P marketplace where you can sell and shop items with crypto. We have over 1 million of products listed on our platform, Bazaar Setup. You can check out them by paying USDT, USDC, Ethereum, or our token BZR using your MetaMask or Wallet Connect. We are registered in the United Kingdom, and most of our users love purchasing digital gift cards and gadgets. So if you have something in mind that you want to buy lately, visit BazaarSat app now, and who knows, you might find it there. Shop with crypto, shop on BazaarSat app. And yes, looking forward to an insightful space with you guys.
And happy to have you here once again. Bazaar's targeting becoming the crypto Amazon, and I dearly hope they succeed. Fantastic project you've got going there. And we have Bob from Vibe Trading. Come and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Maybe Suvi, you want to go first with the main profile?
No, actually, I don't. This was your. It's all for you. Okay, thanks, everyone.
Yeah, so we got Suvi on the main profile. She's the CEO of Vibe. I'm Bob. I cover partnerships and business development. And yeah, what is Vibe? To make it super simple and easy, Vibe is the Oprah Winfrey of perpetuals. Everybody is going to get a perps with us. There's zero requirements for it, no matter the chain, no matter the token, no matter the market cap, and so many other requirements that you usually have with perp dexes. We have zero requirements. And the good part is we also share 70% of the revenue that is made on those markets with a team stint. So very important to be here today for us and talk to a lot of good people. And yeah, it's a pleasure being here. Thanks for the invite.
And happy to have you. And just on a little side note, Suvi is a very unique name. And that is a very familiar voice. I think we've been on Space before, have we not, Suvi?
Yeah, I think we have. It's Finnish name, and it actually means summer. And yeah, we have 5 million people in Finland. 2.5 million out of those are women. And in this generation, when it was a fashion name, even less women. So it's no surprise that there isn't really that many Suvis in the world.
Indeed. A unique name and a familiar voice. Happy to hear from you again, Suvi. Who have we not heard from yet? Delta VLT, welcome. Come and join us. Data VLT, sorry, I misspoke there.
Yeah, no worries. So, hello everyone. I'm Azibi Malavi, and I'm the product development manager at Data VLT. Thank you for having us here. So, at our core, Data VLT is focused on building intelligent AI-powered infrastructure for Web3 world. We believe that data intelligence and accessibility are keys to unlocking the full potential of decentralization. So, participating in this AMA gives us a chance to share our perspective on where passive income is heading in Web3, especially around the shift from staking to nodes. So let's dive in.
Fantastic. Nice, sharp, snappy intro. That's what we like. Thank you very much. Now, we do have a couple more speakers. They are currently stuck in the listeners. X is being X, as it always is. Pactus and Warp, I'm trying to invite you guys. Please do request to speak, and I will accept your requests. I am doing the best I can. But we've gone through our panel that we have so far until a couple of others join. Let's get stuck in. So we are talking passive income, nodes. Will they overtake staking? So passive income in Web3 has evolved massively from just those simple staking mechanisms of the DeFi summer all those years ago to much more sophisticated infrastructure-based participation. Validator nodes, NFT-based node models, RWA-backed income streams are changing the way investors think about decentralized earnings. So these are the kind of things we're going to explore today. How these new approaches compare to the traditional staking, what they mean for scalability and accessibility, and ultimately sustainable models for the years to come. Just a couple of newsworthy notes on the topic before we dive in. There's been 16 major firms today, tech giants, crypto platforms, all kinds, that have collectively actually allocated over $5 billion into Ethereum staking for yield and long-term reserve utility. That shows the rising confidence in passive staking as an infrastructure. in terms of nodes, the rise of income generating nodes. A Web3 ecosystem actually now features INOs, as we know. We've seen node sales on launchpads for a while now. It's nothing new. It's perfectly normal. And that just goes to show how deeply embedded this model already is in our space. So what were non-traditional passive income methods are now becoming the norm, which is where Deepin falls into place. Innovative NFT-based projects like spacem come to the fore, and we're seeing more and more and more of these innovative ways that people can earn by, I won't go as far as to say doing nothing, but let's face it, that's kind of what passive income is. And that's the benefits of it. If you can do the work at the beginning, then you reap the rewards at the end. So hopefully that gets us all in the mood for what is to come. Without further ado, let's begin. The next phase of passive income. What is driving the shift from your traditional staking models of the past and today to node-based income? And how do these mechanisms change the balance between decentralization, yield potential, and long-term sustainability? And as should be the case, I am going to allow our hosts to kick this one off. So Ian or Igor, whichever would like to take the question, what are your thoughts here?
So at spacem, this shift is reflected in our 20,000 NFT-based nodes. We don't just reward holders with daily passive income, but also with various ecosystem perks such as shareholder rights and governance rights. So unlike pure staking or traditional node system, our model basically ensures token distribution is decentralized and community driven, with 55% of all spacem tokens generated directly by nodes over the span of 5 years. And as I mentioned, node holders also gain shareholder rights and therefore share the revenue generated through our ecosystem pillars will each evolve into a strong project narrative over the next few months. In our case, as I said, nodes don't necessarily validate a network of any kind, but rather serve as an entry point into the core of our project, which at the end of the day is passive income. And the true earning potential then flows through using those generated spacem tokens for the broader range of activities in our ecosystem. We have a bunch of different pillars. One of them is real-world assets, which is one of our most promising bets for the near future. And long story short, unlike staking, which often competes on APY, node ownership positions holders as ecosystem co-owners, allowing them to benefit from multiple revenue streams in a passive way. So far, users have minted nearly 6,000 nodes, and there will only be, as I said, 20,000 of them in total. And to ensure rarity, we have implemented a system where the more nodes that are minted, the more expensive they are, currently sitting at $1,200 each. And the last node minted will cost around $4,000, which is a lot. But keep in mind that revenue streams will expand and therefore increase the potential. So as we evolve our ecosystem pillars, which are, as I said, real-world assets, SocialFi, GameFi, and CrowdFi, so we'll increase the potential of the passive income itself. And to give you an example, we also plan to add debit cards as one of our products. And node holders will gain a percentage of every transaction done by any of the card users, which I hope gives a good perspective on the potential of the income, of the passive income that these nodes can generate. A lot of products in the background. They're evolving, but at the core, we have our node system, which, as I said, ensures that token distribution is decentralized, and of course gives community an opportunity to be super early in the project, and as well earn passive income in the long run from various different streams. So that's kind of where we're going.
Yeah, Yeah, thank you very much, Ian. I really like that. It's a really, really cool, innovative new take on the node. This NFT-based model, which, as you say, it's not connected to transactional validations and such, but still ultimately collective ecosystem contributions. And in addition to that, the fact that as you grow and develop and launch more features and more of these pillars within your ecosystem, that passive income is going to, of course, increase with that. It's a really, really interesting model, and one that I'm really looking forward to seeing how it develops. So, great answer. Thank you very, very much. Let's hear from Mr. Pradeep from Pi3 next. What are your thoughts here? Pradeep, can you hear me? I can see you unmuting yourself. Yeah, I can see you unmuting yourself, but we can't hear you. Well, I can't hear you. Anyway, it may be worth actually leaving and rejoining or refreshing. There may be some issue with your mic. Wayne at Bluebird, let's get you to chime in just while Pradeep is dealing with some issues.
Yeah, remind me briefly of the original question. I mean, spacem went really deep on the topic. So can you refresh me with the question again?
Yeah, no worries. It's quite simple. What is driving this shift from traditional staking models to node-based incomes, and how do these mechanisms kind of change the balance between decentralization, yield potential, and ultimately long-term sustainability?
Yeah, I think node ownership and nodes overtaking staking in the long run, it makes sense. It's more of a tangible model for people to understand. Running a node versus I'm just locking up my tokens and I'm going to earn more tokens. So it's more of an active versus passive, even though the active could just be network uptime. It could just be participation. But it's also, you think about it, reduces some of the risk in terms of in staking. Your governance could be, your staking could be your voting power as well too. And with nodes, it's not necessarily the case. And I think that's a lot of problems with many proof of stake networks, is that the network is vulnerable to a takeover being overtaken in governance by the number of tokens that are staking. So not having to worry about just someone overtaking that governance, and also node infrastructure allows you to set certain parameters. They may not have complete governance rights, or there may be only a set number of nodes to kind of limit and ensure quality rewards for those that participate. Whereas a lot of staking pools, you're seeing it may have a set allocation, and the more people stake, the less the rewards are. So it's you could look at something you join. I've joined staking pools where it may be like 10, 15, 20% APY, and then by the time everybody stakes, it's a 1 or 2%. I could do better trading. So it seems to be better in those terms. But I think going back to, I'm more of a educator that focuses on mass adoption. And for mass adoption, people have to understand where the yield is coming from. And I think the concept of a node is a lot easier to understand for people, and they can participate in network security, network growth. Versus just people that don't understand, and they're just looking for, where can I just stake this and earn a yield? They don't care about governance. They don't care about participating. They're just in it for that staking yield. So I think node ownership kind of brings it back to, it's still passive income, but it seems more active to the individual.
Yeah, a really great answer as always, Wayne. You mentioned a couple of really crucial things there. The node system. You've got a much higher level of transparency. It's much better from a self-management perspective, as you mentioned there. And you're nowhere near at risk of volatility when it comes to sort of external market factors. Like you say, you can lock some tokens in it. It might even be something ridiculous, by like 70%. But the more people that lock, the more people that stake, the more the APY drops, and that simply isn't the case with the node model. And you can contribute by just simply connecting to the network. You can add value. So some great points, Wayne. Thank you very much. We actually have a speaker that's really, really critical in this topic here. Building a very, very promising node-based ecosystem. Pactus Blockchain. What would you like to add here?
Yeah, thank you for having me. First of all, I felt Elon and X choose to rock me today, so it was really frustrating coming up at first. Then I'm here again, so thank you for having me, and thank you to all the speakers that have already contributed. It's interesting because I think today's topic was actually crafted for me and for Pax's ecosystem, because it's actually the problem we are trying to solve. Now, running a node is actually it's what makes you actually becomes part of the network. Staking tokens, you just throw in tokens somewhere in the vault, and then you begin to earn APR or whatever you want to earn at the end of the year, or how long you want to stake it. But running a node is somehow different from that, and it's actually the best way to participate in the network. But because of the cost effectiveness of securing the devices you want to use for a node, and then getting the amount of tokens, I think currently now for Ethereum you need about 32 tokens before you can run a node. That's minimal. So, and you know how much that can be. Not everybody can afford that amount of money. So that is the problem. And like the last speaker said, earning while staking a token, the value depreciates as the number of stakers increases. But while running a node, there's always a fixed amount you can earn. And so I think that is what Practice is solving, trying to bring up a lightweight node that anybody can run in. Currently, you can run a Practice node. The maximum amount you can use to run a Practice node is 1,000 pack. That is the native token, and then you can run it on any machine. The cheapest machine, the Raspberry Pi, is around $6 or $12. You can get that from an Amazon shop anywhere in the world, and then you run your node. So I think this topic is very, very important for the Paxos blockchain itself. So I'm really, really happy to be here with you guys and see how you guys are going to, try to. I know there are good speakers here that are going to bring out a lot of points here that we can actually still improve in, because in the blockchain, this space is still the improving space where we just keep improving and improving and improving. So that is it for now.
Thank you very, very much, as always, Pactus. Really, really love what you're building. Really trying your hardest to reduce that barrier of entry to the node ecosystem for everyone. Amazing stuff. Pradeep, can you hear me now?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Well, thank you, Wayne, for stepping in for me. Appreciate that. I could hear everything, just couldn't respond. I want to build upon what spacem said, but coming to Pi3, we believe that node ecosystem gives the people multiple ways to engage with the network, not just through the token, which themselves aren't demand drivers. So tokens themselves represent utility but don't drive utility, versus nodes can. So we are, in our world, the Pi3 ecosystem supports three types of nodes: a personal node, a business node, and an enterprise/community node. And these nodes have different earning potential, and they have different parameters, and people can run these nodes on a composable infrastructure, from cloud to local desktop to enterprise servers to deep in environments, which gives them a lot of compliance and flexibility and cost management. But the real value of the node to us is that more node operators there are, it attracts more clients. Because when you are talking to a network of doctors or pharmacies or hospital system or a government agency, they want to be able to run their AI agents on a decentralized but secure infrastructure. So if you can point to a diversified node ecosystem with a lot of different types of nodes running in different geographies, it gives them a lot of confidence. And it's an antidote to SaaS, which everybody wants to get away from for compliance and security and control reasons. So we think that nodes represent a new compute pattern. They represent a new earning pattern in the sense that you're not bound to a fixed pool of tokens. You're actually contributing value and driving revenue, and you're taking a piece of that revenue, which means that there is no upside cap. You're not fighting for the same pool of 1 million tokens, and whoever stakes first gets the most. And as Wayne said, the returns normalize over a period of time where they become unattractive. Here, you have full agency over what the node does. And then, like spacem, if you have nodes that you bought early on while they were priced low, and we are selling our nodes at $314, and they're fixed in quantity. But our models show that these nodes could be worth 20x more than they are today as demand grows from AI agent usage, our model training, from storage requirements for bigger data sets. And that means that node operator not only has a passive income from running the node, they also have a asset growth, which is also very important. So you bring those together with no upside, and you infuse the node with actual ability to drive demand, and it becomes a very interesting model where we as a community are building something that has an inherent network effect in it. And tokens, that's really hard to achieve because tokens are typically driven by scarcity-driven value, right? Fixed quantity, some burning, some locking, some staking, and you're hoping that that will drive value in the token. But it's always driven by that speculative element. Nodes can be driven by actual utility, and they can actually drive the demand. So in that sense, you don't have the cap on the there's no ceiling on how valuable your node becomes. So I think it's a much better construct, but I do believe both have a place. I don't think one will replace the other, but they solve, I think, very different use cases, and they create very different value proposition. And they both will exist, but I think nodes will ultimately overtake tokens in terms of net value creation because of the simple fact that they don't have a ceiling on the value they can deliver.
Great answer as always, Pradeep. Thank you very, very much for that. And you're absolutely right. Yes, there are limitations to token-based incentive models like staking, and there's much more variation, much more flexibility, and much more adaptability to the node model, not just from growth in terms of ecosystem and scaling, but in terms of utility, as you say, very, very clearly. So great answer as always. Thank you. The speakers I haven't grabbed on this one, I'm about to grab at you guys on the next one. So with that, we're going to talk about barriers to entry. Bob from Vibe, I'll come to you first on this one. We have a very big panel today, and I'm just conscious of getting through everyone. So just bear with me a moment. So making node ownership accessible. Historically, running a node requires significant capital, technical expertise, uptime management, all of these things. How are modern Web3 platforms lowering these barriers to allow more users to participate and earn without sacrificing network security or reward fairness? So, Bob, Vibe Trading, over to you.
Hey, if you would allow me to just go just a step back here and allow me to ask this question into our round. We talked about how nodes, square up versus staking when it comes to, the yield and everything. But let's take it maybe a step further, if you would allow me the question, of course. How do nodes stack up when it comes to this, utility community feeling that is unlocked when so many people stake together and come together as, this ball of power, basically. So if you guys would maybe, answer me that question, because it's super interesting for me to, hear all those positive thoughts about nodes. But maybe we can also touch base on that a little bit, if you would allow the question, of course.
Just repeat the question itself again, please.
Yeah, the question itself is how do nodes stack up against, staking when it comes to unlocking other parts of utility that, with normal staking you can unlock, and when the community feeling comes in that so many people stake together, how do nodes square up with that?
We can squeeze this one in quickly, and we'll get spacem's insight on this as well. Pradeep, your hand was up first. Go ahead.
I just want to give a very quick anecdote. It's a really interesting question. We packaged a professional node for a pediatric clinic, for a doctor, children's doctor, and we packaged the node for them on a Mac Mini, with a nice label on it. And basically, they wanted a physical node in their office, so we put it on a Mac Mini M4 and put it in their office. And they had this training session for other doctors. These guys do a lot of training for interns and residents. And everybody was curious about, what is this thing sitting in your office, in the CEO's office? And we got a host of inquiries from other pediatricians saying, I want to run a node. Even though they didn't really have an AI use case yet figured out, they wanted to have this cool device in their office, and they wanted to be part of the AI ecosystem and part of this cool idea of earning from AI adoption and growth. So, nodes, depending on how you position your nodes, I think it actually leads to a pretty interesting community where people who are outside the Web3 token, crypto, DeFi mindset can be very attractive, or they are very attracted to a concept of running a node that does something very meaningful. And the passive income element is also very nice. They don't even understand tokens to say, well, this is going to make me money and it's going to help me run my business better. What's there not to like? So in that sense, it was really an interesting organic community type of a response from people who typically don't identify themselves as Web3 enthusiasts.
Very nice answer. Thank you. I mean, in that context, the node that you specially built kind of almost became a status symbol, if you like, which is quite cool. Yes, Ian at spacem, you'd like to chime in on this one?
Yeah. So just as the previous speaker just said, it's way easier for community to understand, or for normal people to understand what's happening. You have a node, you generate income, and that's it. And on top of that, especially in our case, since our nodes are NFT based, we can allow users, first of all, to have this passive income, and second of all, we can allow them to have different perks and features and benefits inside our ecosystem. So we can tie that passive income together with a bunch of different things that we implement, which can potentially grow our community much faster and much better. And also the node holders can feel much more not appreciated, but much more engaged in the ecosystem itself, and they can explore different opportunities. If you just stake a token and that's it, you kind of don't have much else that you can do it at, or it doesn't allow you to do much more. But if you have a node, you can in our case, the node is an NFT, you can connect a lot of different features to that node. So in our case, people can share the revenue of different revenue streams from the project itself, which adds to the point and a lot more. So that's kind of our view.
Yeah, and a really nice point it is. You're absolutely right. Nodes versus staking, it's much more active participation related, community connected, value providing, and just on a really simple base level, providing value to feel part of something. Very nice point, Ian. Thank you. Warp Shane, you would like to chime in here too?
Yeah, cheers, guys. It's Ophid here from the Warp team, and it's been a while since I've been on a growthy space, so it's good to be back. Growthy hosted space, sorry, so glad to be back. A lot of interesting stuff handling here, and I'm trying and walk through it all briefly. Just to say, the Warp is the first actual proper games publisher in Web3 gaming. Right, the space is crying out for it because at the moment Web3 gaming is a bit sucky. And we've got the people in our team to help make the games better. And I don't want to go into too much into how that's done. Let's just put it this way, in a very simple way, is Web3 still relies too much on token and tokenomics, and token must go up and all this. Building a good game is all about, building the game quality and that it can generate revenue to support the Web3 element of it. Now, the big advantage of nodes over staking in all of this, right, is that nodes, like you spacem have just said there, is you can build your community and you can give back to this. Now, we're a firm believer that people, unless you are technically savvy, you should be taking available of a node hosting service. Now costs can vary on that there, but we're getting ours quite down. And the reason why, because Bob mentioned there as well about what additional sort of utilities other than rewards there are out there. I mean, because if somebody owns a node, yes, they can earn a part of the token supply, right? Which is very sort of attractive, but that relies then on demand for the token and token price. games should be making revenues. So the warp nodes actually give back 20% of the revenues that the games earn. And we have hundreds of games that we're assessing at the moment, and we've over 30 signed published deals that we're going to do. So these games, once they're earning revenues, that's going back to the node holders. But from a utility viewpoint, and I think, yes, everybody wants to hear about how much cash they can make and all of this here, but if you are an investor, right, or you are, more importantly from our side, if you are a game studio, the warp nodes, come with an AI concierge, because we put AI agents into all the games that we have, and then that gathers data from all inside the games. We have an AI live ops thing, which is also gathering data about all the issues in the games as well. So all this information goes to the node holders, and they can make, from a game studio side, they can see what's working within the Warp publishing ecosystem, and see what's working for games, what's not working for games, what are the numbers, like who's playing what genre's doing best, what what NFTs, or what they assess everything that's going on within all the games that we play. And then from an investor viewpoint, they can look at that and go, okay, well, these games are performing well, these games are performing well. And they have all that data as well. So it's like a kind of a one-stop shop. So yes, you can earn the rewards as long as you're validating the network. And it's important to note that, we don't view nodes important for us as transaction volumes. That's totally not it. It's all about game revenues. So we're not dependent on so many transactions on the chain, because our chain is not the focus like the larger ones out there, where it's all about transaction volumes. It's to support our tokenomic sandbox that which helps the games test their tokens before they launch them, right? So yeah, in general, it's all about giving back and the additional layers, which I think is for a general user, somebody who might just have a casual interest in all of this. There's a lot more they can get. There's a lot more they can get out of it. Sorry, that was I was trying to cover about 4 different points from all the other speakers there. So, and I was like, I may have gone round in circles a little bit, but yeah, big node fans here.
No worries at all. And it's actually just amazing to hear the different takes and the different ways that people are utilising nodes. And Warp, I've not had the pleasure of hosting you as Growthy host myself, but a pleasure to have you, and really, really great to hear your insight. Mr. Warp just mentioned a very good point in the middle of that about being tech savvy. I'd just like to reference the fact that I talk to my father on WhatsApp, and when I'm talking to him, he cannot navigate back to our chat conversation when I am on a phone call with him. And yet my father runs a node on the Flux ecosystem. So you are absolutely right, Warp. You do not need to be tech savvy to do this. Anyone can do it. It is simple. You just need walking through it. That's all. So with that, we will hop on to the next question. We have not heard from Data VLT or Bazaars yet. I'll grab you two first on the next one. Making node ownership accessible, as I mentioned before. In the past, it's required capital, technical knowledge, management, but things have changed, and how are modern Web3 platforms reducing these barriers to ease access and participation to earning without sacrifice? Bazaars, let's get you into the conversation here.
I agree to the previous my co-speakers, because they gave some important and significant answer to the previous questions, and builds up the context of the staking and running a node. For the longest time, running a node or staking feels like 2 different worlds. On one side, staking was more on a friendly user for Web3 amateurs, right? It is flexible, it is affordable. You can stake depending on the platform policy as low as 100 USD. you could delegate a small amount and start earning. On the other side, nodes demanded, like you said, big capital and strong technical skills. And you must have hardware to run these nodes. That made running a node intimidating and honestly kind of out of reach for Web3 newbies. But in 2025, or in this era, we're seeing a shift. Networks and protocols are designing systems that bridging the gap between node operators and stakers. We've got liquid staking giving users more freedom to keep their assets flexible and still earning yields. Shared and I think the answer or the question, the barriers is that we have now tiered node models, and these tiered node models are lowering the capital requirement, meaning you don't need to have a bigger capital to participate in running a node. And on the other hand, staking pools and staking platforms are expanding access. And so even small holders, small traders can share invalidator rewards. And importantly, clear frameworks around staking are removing doubts that used to hold people back. The bottom line for this, my take is that the line between being a staker and being a part of node infrastructure is like getting thinner. Instead of exclusivity, we're moving towards inclusive Web3 reward system. Entry points are no longer that much gated by how much you can put and technical ability. They're being redesigned so anyone who believes in a project or in a network can contribute and benefit from it.
Very nice answer indeed. Thank you very much. Once again, touching on the inclusivity factor in nodes and decentralized infrastructure, and contributing to ecosystems, just with things like bandwidth and GPU power. Really cool take. Thank you. Who have we not had? Data VLD, join in the conversation here, and then we'll grab space.
Sure. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just about sort of lowering entry barriers. There was an awful lot needed in the past to run a node in terms of capital, knowledge, uptime management. But as we innovate and optimize, how do you see sort of modern Web3 platforms lowering these barriers, enabling simpler participation and earnings without sacrificing things like security or fairness? What's the way forward here?
Okay, so in the past, the high technical requirements and cost of running nodes created a gap between institutional players and regular users. So only those with the skills and capital could participate fully, which limited decentralization. But today we are seeing an entirely new wave of accessibility tools. Platforms are designing plug-and-play nodes, cloud-based services, and even pooled participation models where individuals can share in rewards without managing the infrastructure themselves. So at the same time, automation powered by AI is changing the game. Predictive monitoring, auto recovery systems, and optimized uptime management mean that running a node doesn't require constant technical oversight anymore. For many, it's becoming as simple as clicking a button or using a managed dashboard. So, what's the key here? is that that security and fairness aren't compromised. Smart contracts can enforce transparency in rewards, and cryptographic verification ensures that participation remains trustless. So basically, in short, barriers are dropping quickly, and this shift is opening up passive incomes to a much broader base of participants. Yeah, that's all from my side.
And very nice answer indeed. Thank you very much. Of course, as is the case with an awful lot of topics these days, AI automation is going to be crucial and already is crucial in exactly this type of optimization. Spacem, Ian or Igor, would you like to add anything to this one before we hop on to the next question?
Yes, of course. Hello, everyone, again. So, accessibility is core to spacem design. Our nodes are NFT based, so they are fully tradable and payable actually in USDC on Avalanche network. When you buy it, the node actually minted directly to your wallet. So they require no technical setup. It's so easy. Ownership alone unlocks participation in token distribution. My friend asked to me, "Oh, Igor, tell me what should I do now? What is my work every day? What? Nothing. Tokens are coming when you have time. You claim it once per month, once per day, week. So beyond simplicity, NFT-based nodes provide transparency. So ownership and the seamless getaway into our ecosystem. So owner gain not only daily SPCM, spacem rewards in tokens, but with buying a node, actually everyone become a sole owner of our platform. Ian actually told a lot of things about sole owner and shareholder. You become a shareholder with buying our node. So spacem empowers a diverse community actually of investors, gamers, creators, and just normal people to actively participate, contribute, and benefit, of course, from the platform growth. By designing our nodes, they are both accessible and versatile. Spacem turns participation into an opportunity. So everybody who come in our ecosystem will become our sole owner and start in our ecosystem. Now they will have chance to benefit and contribute from the platform success, from every pillar which we are already building. So thank you from my side.
And thank you very much, Igor. In actual fact, that means participating in your node ecosystem is even simpler than the one that my father managed to participate in. So I will let him know, and he'll be your next NFT purchase. But thank you very, very much for that. And just being a little bit conscious of time here, let's hop on to a question about integration. So integrating passive income with broader ecosystem utility. Should passive income streams be purely financial, or is their true potential unlocked when integrated with things like gaming, incentives, real-world assets, DAO utility? And how does this affect token demand and long-term retention? I am going to hand that one over to Warp Chain.
Cheers, dude. And yeah, it's very important actually that we need to be careful about some of the words that we use here, right? Because our node sale, which is happening on the 31st, is been held on Avalanche, right? And Avalanche Ava Cloud, right? And they are, because they're launching a new node license platform, and we're the first ones that on that. And we had a chat with their legal thing, and we need to be very careful. It's about passive income, especially when we're talking about nodes, right? Is that we need to be careful about how we frame that. So when we're talking about nodes, we can't just say is that you buy a node and you just sit back and you do nothing. So we need to stress the point that if you are purchasing a node, you need to have a certain level of uptime, and that you are literally validating the network that you are on, because otherwise then you're verging very close to sort of securities here, so we need to be careful on the wording we're using, especially when it comes to revenue share. I mean, the way we would frame it is that you're getting earnings for doing some work, for validating the network of the project that you're doing, that you're going with. I mean, the one thing in relation to the question, and it's kind of a general feeling here, but that in Web3 or in blockchain, all these projects, like ourselves and whatever they're doing nodes, we need to focus on the fact is that for mass, not necessarily for mass adoption, but for actual value, for people to see the value they can get in a node, we need top quality underlying projects. I can only speak from us from the gaming side, and quite a lot of people here might have a disparaging view of Web3 gaming, and quite naturally, because it's been mainly a bit pants for the last 4 or 5 years, and it was hyped up by the 2021 bull run, and a lot of promises never unfolded. And ultimately, it's if the underlying product is good and solid. So in other words, from our case, we are publishing good games, and they are generating actual revenue. Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, they're not relying on token price, but they're actually generating serious fiat. Then that'll help drive the whole sort of node element better, because people can go in and see, right, I buy a node, I use a hosted service, or I use my own hardware because I'm savvy enough, and then it's like, so for the work that they're doing, the potential earnings they can get back on top of all the additional utilities is something that is going to expand massively.
Nice, very, very interesting take, and I love the integration with the sort of the node model into Web3 gaming. We're all familiar with and can remember the play to earn boom and crash of the past, and the sort of the route that you guys are taking is a really interesting new take on that, and one that's got a lot more strength to its foundations. So really thank you for that input, very much so. Who else can we get on this one? Who did we not hear from for a little while? Pactus, would you like to jump in here?
Yeah, like I said, I'm really excited to hear everybody discussing about staking a node. Staking, it's in my own point of view, staking has been a way that institutions have, in one way or the other, tried to make blockchains become centralized. I don't know how that may sound to you, but in my own point of view, institutions have made that possible, and that's because the issue of accessibility. A lot of people can run a node on their own, not because they are not aware or not being informed enough, but because the cost that comes with it. Getting the financial aspect and getting the hardware aspect have always been this problem. And I am really happy. I'm seeing not just on the packs, but other projects too are actually seeing how we can simplify these challenges up there to make decentralization what it truly represents. The more users that runs a node in your blockchain or your ecosystem, the more decentralized it becomes. And because since it's decentralized, and in staking, you just drop tokens and then they yield out reward for you over a period of time. But in running a node, especially if it's a validator node, you actually become part of the blockchain. You actually become part of the security of that blockchain, and I think it brings this psychological bonding between you and the blockchain, that you're always on the lookout, you're always informed, you always know what you want to do in the space. So I think running a node is actually more preferable at this point because it makes it decentralized. And then that is where we come in. That is where we come in to solve this problem, because we brought up a new consensus mechanism called the solid state proof of stake, SSPOS, where you stake tokens to become a validator. In other words, you can't just stake tokens and then expect to get returns over a period of time. You must run a node. And running a node is also opening up for different opportunities in the blockchain. A lot of opportunities. Once you are running a node, if you can afford running a node, that means you can also bring up your system to run up. There are technologies coming out like deepins, decentralized storage. Those are all the benefits that comes from you being able to run a node in a particular blockchain. So it's really interesting we are having this, and I know it's going to get better from now, and I really appreciate you brought this topic up. Like I told you, I'm really, really happy, and I have listened to everyone's input, and I really agree with what you guys have said. So thank you.
And thank you very much. Yes, some really, really great points there. I love the way that you guys are building towards, the sort of much lower cost, much more lightweight, deep in infrastructure kind of direction. Let's grab one here before we grab spacem, and then we can have a quick fire yes or no on the last one. Pradeep, I'd actually like to hear from you on this one, because you've got some quite diverse utility and directions that you're going in the way that you're building. So what are your thoughts?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, loud and clear.
So great conversation. Thanks to all the speakers, and excellent hosting. Thank you. Great insights from different parties. My view is, I'll just build upon what everyone else has said. Nodes represent a better mechanism of engagement because they are composable, they are functional. You can design them to do things that add value to the network beyond securing through the staking model. So that's just one dimensional. Node is multidimensional. In our view, they also bring in people who are not driven by the staking ethos, but rather by utility and usability and contribution ethos, which makes it easier to communicate why you should run a node as a non-Web3 enthusiast, as a non-crypto enthusiast, and still see direct and easy value for yourself or for your community. We are seeing even interest from churches who want to run nodes in the church to serve the community. Of course, in the context of AI agents, all that, but that's just a Pi3 specific construct that your nodes are powerful hosts of AI agents. That's great. You could design a node to do anything, but the fact that a node represents ownership and ability, contribution, and a high degree of autonomy. And that combined with good node design, I think in many ways, the way we've been obsessed with tokenomics for the last 10 years, I think there needs to be node economics that we should be focusing on. How does a node generate value? How does it share in the value? How does it create a network effect? How does it lead to overall adjacent value creation? There's so much you can do with a node that you are not limited. You are very severely limited in a tokenized world where the token contract is going to be by definition very limited. But a node in the form of an NFT or in the form of some other kind of a handle, like we use FIO handles to identify our nodes, that Wayne is part of that organization, in addition to Bluebird. There, we have so many other use cases like transfer of data, transfer of payments, identification of citizen. As a simple example, one of the government agencies we are talking to, they were like, how do I identify a citizen? We said, well, give them a unique node, give them a handle, and you got your citizen interface that you've never had before. And so the nodes are so composable, so much more dynamic, and the node economics and the node design is so much more flexible that I do think the node should be equal, if not better construct for engaging businesses and consumers into a decentralized ecosystem.
Really, really nice answer, and the way that you sort of structured how nodes, the way that they can be designed, the way they can be composed, can provide so much more value. I really like that. And actually, you mentioned Wayne in there, and Wayne and I were on a space in a conversation about a completely different topic, partnerships. In fact, in three, and he beautiful quote about approaching partnerships. It's not what can I get from this. It's how can I help? What value can I provide? And that's effectively nodes versus staking. If you look at it on that kind of level, people that stake, let's be honest, most of them do not care of the value that they're providing to that blockchain. They are looking at the rewards, the APY. Whereas with the node system, they are willingly going out of their way to provide that value and be rewarded for it. And the fact that it's becoming such a simpler, lower barrier to actually enter that space, particularly with the practices here with the $12 phone, you could be part of a node network. Spacem NFTs, you don't even need a device. There's another network I'm familiar with called Noodle that is purely mobile device focused, deep in network. And the innovations that are happening on this topic are quite amazing. It's really cool. Wayne, let's just hear from you quick before we hop onto a quick fire yes or no.
So, first of all, I'd like to mention that, as I said before, we sold over almost 6,000 nodes. On average, each node was about $800. And we can say with confidence that more than 98% or like 95% of those node holders are people that are not so familiar with Web3 or blockchain in general. And this proves just the fact that nodes are a much easier thing to understand for people and to see the potential in. And to maybe come back to the question that how can nodes unlock a more potential in the ecosystem itself, and you can see that people get attracted to seeing more potential than just staking and getting tokens, and rather having a node, generating tokens, which is kind of similar to staking, and of course getting a lot of more perks and benefits within that ecosystem. And in our case, we have a lot of different pillars and a lot of different ways where node holders get benefits. We have gaming pillar, GameFi, we have SocialFi, we have real world assets, and we have CrowdFi. And it's a lot of things and a lot of ways we wanna make revenue with and profit that node holders are gonna profit and benefit from. And of course, it's a lot of things, and a lot of projects are focusing on a lot of different things. In our case, what we're trying to achieve is being hyper focused on user experience and UI, having all these narratives and all these pillars in a single app where people can first of all have their node, and then using those tokens that they generate in those different narratives and generate even more income and even more profits by participating in different aspects of the ecosystem. And that's kind of our goal here, and kind of an important topic I want to touch here also is that a lot of projects, especially a few years back, I don't know if you guys remember Fat Protocol thesis, a lot of people were focused on infrastructure and technology and how does this work and all that stuff. And a lot of people thought that value in crypto occurs in the infrastructure. But nowadays, especially I can see that a lot with successful projects and so on, is that a lot of value will occur in the interface and in the UX, and where projects actually touch the user. And as I said, that's where the interface is. And each project should focus on making it as simple as possible for users to understand the value, as simple as possible for users to participate in the ecosystem, and kind of just to navigate through all these things. Because at the end of the day, the project that's going to have the easiest way to participate and the easiest way to kind of make money from is gonna be not necessarily, but most probably more successful. And yeah, nodes are a way to easily present the value to people. You get a node, you generate tokens in our case from those NFTs, and you get certain benefits in the ecosystem there, this and that. And if you can navigate all that through one simple app, it becomes even more powerful. And in our case, we also plan to have the on-ramping system implemented in the app, so people can even use their own cards, like debit cards, to buy nodes on our app, which is making it even more simple. And that just proves how much we are focused on the UI and the UX, which kind of is the main point here from my side. And to answer the question, yeah.
Great answer. I mean, very, very comprehensive indeed. And actually, one really, really key aspect of everything that you said there, and a lot of the things that have come from other speakers as well, is this. Even though it's not what we're talking about, there's such a heavy focus on simplification. Whether it's through streamlined design, removal of technical barriers, UX, UI abstraction, and all this points towards, a much, much bigger chance of onboarding that mainstream audience that we're all striving for, because we're giving them that familiar experience that they're used to, not this technical filled jargon space that they're all terrified of. So yeah, fantastic answer, Ian. Thank you. And Wayne at Bluebird, would you like to just chime in with anything? I know Pradeep mentioned you previously, and just be interested to hear your take on this before we fire off the last one.
Yeah, funny enough, I was actually about to say I need to bounce. I've got to hop. I'm 10 minutes late for a call here, but I will say this: it's been an amazing space. I wish we had, wish we did have more time. A lot of times these spaces wrap up right in an hour. I wish I'd allocated more time for this one, but I think we're on the right conversation, the right track in terms of just all the potential with nodes, and I think it's going to really move this entire space forward quite a bit. So thanks for having me today, but I do have to bounce.
Just before you go,
yes.
Quick yes or no. Will nodes outpace staking? Yes or no?
Yes, but I've got a controversial take on this real quick. I think that we're going to see, because staking has a different purpose and use case in general, and it's overutilized in many cases, but I think we're going to see some really great projects that could potentially combine two different methods to where you can run a node, but there's also a staking component to it as well to lock up tokens long-term value, but it's going to have to be more of active participation, not just passive earning without even participating in governance. So that's my take. I got to bounce there.
So
all right.
A yes, but with integration. It's been a pleasure, Wayne,
as
always. Thank you for joining us.
All right, thanks. Take care, guys.
So, thank you very much. Same to everyone. Let's have a quick fire yes or no, and then we can just have a nice project update and wrap up from everybody. So, will nodes overtake staking? Warpchain, yes or no?
Yep.
Okay, we have two yeses. And Bazaar, yes or no? We have the
Yes.
the Growthy and spacem DAO vote right now. Bazaar's another yes. We've got a landslide victory right now. Vibe trading, what do you think? Nodes or staking?
I think I'll have to pick the underdog here. Then I'll go with staking.
Oh, we've got a controversial one. We've got a no. Okay, Pradeep, what do you think?
Well, I think they will compete fiercely, and I think that in the long run, nodes bring in a much greater, much more comprehensive value. But staking is more familiar to people. They know it. They are familiar with it. It's passive. It's one click and you're done. So I think as we implement nodes in the context that it becomes easy to click, deploy, earn, use, benefit from, it will be a very viable alternative. But I would say that right now staking has an advantage of being around much longer than nodes have been. But I do think that nodes have a viable and a very compelling value proposition that will compete fairly with staking, and I hope ultimately it prevails and wins.
Very nice. That's an on the fence, but a very, very valuable on the fence. Appreciate that, Pradeep. Thank you very much. Pactus, will nodes overtake staking? Yes or no?
Yeah, for me, it's an absolutely yes.
Okay, fantastic. And we have finally data VLT. What do you think?
I think yes, it will.
Okay, we have a landslide victory. The DAO vote has spoken. spacem, what's your thoughts here? Let's grab you before we give everybody a chance to wrap up with an update.
A big yes from us, of course.
It has to be. If it doesn't, then you're in trouble because we're talking nodes and we're talking spacem today. So everybody's yes for nodes pretty much. Okay, so just a little quick fire, 30 seconds. What's happening with your project now? You might have a campaign running. You might have an announcement that's just about to come out. You may have a new update. Just give us a nice quick fire. What's happening right now? Warp chain. Let's go.
Sorry, I got sidetracked. I'm looking at the window for the food delivery guy, because it's 6 p.m. here and it's dinner time. What was the question?
It's just a very quick 30-second update. What's happening at Warp Chain right now? Have you got a new listing, an announcement, an update? What's going on?
Our entire focus at this moment in time is towards our node sale on the 31st of August. There's only 3,000 nodes in total, 250 really fancy enterprise ones which do everything that you could possibly imagine within the Warp ecosystem, and then 2,500 for the lower end. So, and then we reserve 250 for all the game studios that we're publishing, because we believe in the games earning in the revenue as well, and everything's focused towards that. Stay tuned, follow us. I would say to everybody, follow us, because we have a lot of major announcements. We are not a competing chain, we are a game publisher, which means that we're about to have a lot of very well-known chains and networks out there who are going to have us as their preferred games publisher. So it's going to be very exciting.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. All thoughts going on at Warp Chain. No doubt you're all surviving on coffee and adrenaline at this point, but good luck with everything. I hope it all goes well. Bazaars, quick fire, 30 seconds. What's happening at Bazaars right now? Bazaars, can you hear me?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, me and the team are composing a 90-day event. So this is the introduction of our new technology, which will be unfolding in the near future, probably this September. So I invite everyone to give us a follow to be updated on that announcement. This is a new technology. This is I could say technological breakthrough in Web3, and we are excited to introduce it to all of you. So just remember, if you want to shop with crypto, shop on Bazaars.app. Thank you for inviting us here, and I had fun and new knowledge acquired.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us. Anybody wants to buy something in crypto, buy on Bazaars. Give them a follow, check them out. They're very cool. Pretty quick fire, 30-second update. What's going on with Pi3?
So first, we have launched the professional node sale, which is backed by some very exciting contracts where those who buy the nodes will have the option to contribute those nodes to an actual use case in healthcare. And many more are stacked behind that. We are very focused on finding AI-driven use cases in the real world out there in healthcare and finance and government that create enormous demand for the nodes that we are selling. So for us, it's demand first, supply second. Now that the demand is in hand, we are encouraging the community to go in and buy the nodes, and we are looking at a variety of easy-to-deploy options on the Pi3 cloud and on Oracle STEM infrastructure, and many more are coming. So running the node is good. We are going to make it super easy so a doctor can run it, which means you can run it as well, because they tend to be technologically not as sound as all of us might be. And the nodes are on sale for $314, but we expect the price to start escalating. And over the course of the coming 12 months. Plus and generate your recurring income if you contribute to the network. So in a nutshell, great time to come in and be part of the Pi3 network, be as active as you can be, and just understand that what you're powering is the AI ecosystem that people out there are going to use to live better lives, maintain their health, and or do a variety of things that need to be done. So you're not just running a node, you're actually changing society for the better, and together we are earning very substantial income. So what's there not to like?
Fantastic close. Thank you very much, Pradeep. Always interesting to hear you on a space, and love hearing about what you guys are building. Exciting times right now, and I wish you all the best with everything, as I'm sure does everybody else. Give Pi3 a follow and check them out. They're doing some great stuff, guys. Vibe Trading, what's happening with you right now?
Yes, so we're in closed alpha, adding more and more traders weekly. You can sign up on the Vibe Trading profile and maybe be picked for the next phase of adding traders. We're very close to our closed and then open beta. Everybody that wants a perpetual market on their token, feel free to just DM us and hit us up. We've announced over 50 launch partners so far, and more to come. So yeah. That's basically going on with Vibe currently.
Amazing stuff. Right, everybody's got so much going on right now. Once again, all of you guys, as the same with all of our speakers, give them a follow, check them out. Exciting times ahead. Pactus, before we hand over to the host of the space today, spacem. Pactus, what's happening right now?
Yeah, in terms of running campaigns, we don't have any campaign running now. We are looking forward to smart contracts to be live by the end of Q4. So that is it. And then by tomorrow we'll be having a community AMA in our Discord server where we are deliberating on our PIP 4.3. PIP is actually Pack 2's improvement proposal. Some of the community members propose some stuff, and so we will deliberate on it. We are going to discuss on it. So everyone here is invited to join us and make their contributions. It's always, like I said, Pack 2 is a community chain. It's basically a community chain. So you can just join us, and then we have to discuss our feature in decentralized light nodes, decentralized systems. And then I am also available. I'm very open to partnerships with anybody here. I haven't begun to send you DMs because this week has been so full and so compacted for me. So, but possibly from next week, if you see my DM, just know that I'm coming for a partnership with you, because I know there are nice projects here that we can work together in the nearest future. And thank you for having me in this space again today. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. As always a pleasure to have you here, and I love hearing you tell people about what you guys are building. I love the focus on community and just being part of that network. It's kind of a new take on Deepin. It's a decentralized people infrastructure network, which I absolutely love. Thank you, Pactus. And just before Ian or Igor or both close out the show, Data, what have you got to tell us about what's going on at your place right now? Data VLT, can you hear me? Sadly, we appear to be lacking a connection there. If he pops up, he pops up. Let's hope so. But Ian or Igor, who would like to take over the mic just to give a nice little closeout for spacem as well?
Yeah, I can do that, no problem. So for us, passive income is just the base. The real vision is a seamless app where spacem flows into different ecosystem narratives, creating a sustainable economy. And we are not here to reinvent gaming or social media, but to make Web3 accessible with a clean, seamless experience. Being early is the way, and owning the spacem node is where the journey begins at spacem. It's not cheap, and it's only going to get more expensive. But I hope the potential was well communicated today. So it makes sense for everyone why owning a spacem node is such a crucial thing at the moment. Yeah.
Thank you very, very much for that close from you guys as well. I was really, really happy to join you today to share with the world the spacem take on the node ecosystem. In some ways, even simpler than a deeper network, with it purely being NFT based. So everybody, obviously the same to all projects, especially with spacem, our host today. Check everybody out, give everybody a follow. They've all got some amazing things going on and amazing things in the future. So today we've had some brilliant insights on how the node space is evolving, shifting from something highly technical and almost exclusive into these accessible, integrated, and potentially more rewarding models. We've seen projects lowering barriers, linking nodes with RWAs, and creating whole ecosystems where participation itself generates value, just like spacem, just like Pactus, and Pradeep, of course, going down the medical route as well. Some amazing innovations going on here. There's one thing that's really clear. The future of passive income is not just about locking tokens. It's about building, running, connecting to networks, providing value, and helping them thrive as more people join and they grow. So thank you so much to our speakers today, one by one: Warp Chain, Bazars, Pradeep and Pi3, Pactus, Bob from Vibe Trading. Sorry, almost forgot your name now. I didn't see your name on your handle. Data VLT, and of course Igor and Ian. It's been a pleasure to introduce spacem to our panel with you guys. Thank you ever so much. And thank you to our listeners. We will call it a day there.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you for having us. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, guys.
Thank you for having me.